card race is in full effect with 4 games left to play. And here the lead the way, Johnny Cueto. The two-time All-Star missed his last start, but now he's back, and it couldn't come at a better time. Cueto has dominated the Rockies this season, and tonight he looks to do more of the same. Giants Rockies, and it's next. We've got another cool night here at the corner of 3rd and King as we get ready for Giants baseball. This is the final game of this 3-game series and the biggest game of the year tonight. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, it's Johnny Cueto as he comes back after an injury, and obviously Mike will be watching him closely. A couple of things. That and the offense has got to get into whatever they were doing in the first game of this series.
Well, they're going to take on John Gray, and he's got great stuff. Look, the last 13 innings he's pitched, he struck out 26 guys. That's all you need to know about his stuff. Doesn't matter. The Giants have to figure out a way to beat him. They know they're going to get a good game tonight out of Johnny Cueto, the 17-game winner. Hey, it's September. His ERA is still in the 2s. So it figures to be all about pitching. Hopefully the Giants can come up with the big hit that makes a difference tonight. All right. It'll be fun. It always is. Stay tuned. We'll take you to our CSN Bay Area studios for an update, and we'll do that right after this.
CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box. Limited time only at participating restaurants. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
We've got a rubber match tonight. It's been a tale of two teams the last 2 days. We've seen the Giants that can hit and the Giants, well, that don't hit as much. Welcome back to our broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez. And before the Giants take on the Rockies for the series finale, it is Throwback Thursday. So we thought it'd be really fun to take a look back at a great day in Giants history. It's actually a great day in baseball. 62 years ago today. I think you know where we're going. It's our McDonald's True Stories. Jack Brickhouse has the call.
There's a long drive way back in center field, way back. It is gone. Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch, which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
He pulled off the impossible, the catch. It's epic. It's unforgettable. The Giants could use a little maze magic tonight. They've got Johnny Cueto on to the hill. Giants baseball coming your way. Croup and kite, lineups, and first pitch. Don't go anywhere.
Is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the all-new Jack's Brewhouse Bacon Burger today at Jack in the Box. Limited time only at participating restaurants. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
We've got a rubber match tonight. It's been a tale of two teams the last 2 days. We've seen the Giants that can hit and the Giants, well, that don't hit as much. Welcome back to our broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez. And before the Giants take on the Rockies for the series finale, it is Throwback Thursday. So we thought it'd be really fun to take a look back at a great day in Giants history. It's actually a great day in baseball. 62 years ago today. I think you know where we're going. It's our McDonald's True Stories. Jack Brickhouse has the call.
There's a long drive way back in center field, way back. It is gone. Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch, which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
He pulled off the impossible, the catch. It's epic. It's unforgettable. The Giants could use a little maze magic tonight. They've got Johnny Cueto on to the hill. Giants baseball coming your way. Croup and kite, lineups, and first pitch. Don't go anywhere.
first. Our game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. 58 degrees here at the Yard. You have winds at 10 miles per hour. Humidity at 75%, and it is partly cloudy. All right, let's take a look at the Rockies lineup. A couple of changes from last night. It'll be Blackmon in the leadoff spot, then Daniel Descalzo. Hitting third will be Nolan Arenado. And last night, 23rd RBI against the Giants. Most by any opponent this season. Shocked. Gonzalez, Dahl, and then Tom Murphy's going to get a start. Gerardo Parra, he'll hit in the 7th slot. Then it's Christian Adames, and Jonathan Gray, the hard thrower, is in the 9th slot. There's 2 outs in the 9th in that game, and the Reds have the tying run at third. So we'll keep a close eye on that. The Giants come in with a record of 83 and 75. They're 1-1 on this homestand. Rockies won last night. They still have lost 5 of their last 6. Greater coverage of baseball is brought to you by T-Mobile. July 6th of this year, Johnny Cueto with a complete game. He allowed 5 hits and earned run, a walk, 8 strikeouts. He threw 118 pitches, and it was Cueto's last start before the All-Star break, and that win made him 13 and 11. So make that 13 and 1. That is a big difference. 13 and 1.
Cueto coming back from a grade 1 strain in his left groin. So he's healed up, says he's good to go. Had a side where he went 80 pitches, and they aired him out. So tonight, the 2-time All-Star is going to take the hill. Cueto, 5'11", 220-pounders. He's 30 years old, and his record 17-5 with a 2.79 ERA. And just a solid season for the innings eater, Johnny Cueto. 212 innings thrown, 186 hits allowed, 187 strikeouts. The league's just hitting 235 against him. When you take your bats against him, you're going to see a fastball that goes low to mid-90s. He will sink, he'll cut. He throws a changeup and a slider. He's even got a curveball every once in a while. He'll let you know he has one. Lifetime against these Rockies, 6-2 with a 2.19 ERA this year. In 2 starts, 2-0 with an 0.77 ERA. So he's got some ownage over Colorado. Trying to keep that trend going tonight. And what is the biggest game of the year? We just found out that the game has gone final in St. Louis. The Cardinals won that ball game over the Reds 3-2. So the Giants know what they have to do. And let's take a look at the defense playing behind Johnny Cueto tonight for the Giants, starting in their outfield from left to right. It's going to be Pagan, Span, and Pence. Crawford and Gillespie will be on the left side of the infield. Panic and Belt on the right side. And Buster Posey, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
By the way, Mike was checking the score, and it was not a final. The Reds have just tied it up.
Well, that's better information than I was passing.
Yeah. So here's Blackmon. April Fools. There's a line drive into right field, a base hit. So right off the bat, Blackmon is going to head into second with a double. Started at 7:16. So Blackmon saw one pitch, liked it.
He's not going to wait around, and I think you'll see a lot of the Rockies try and be aggressive on that first pitch against Cueto. He likes to get strike 1. Now he'll mix his pitches up, but he likes to get in the fat part of the strike zone early, and they'll probably try and take advantage of that.
Well, right off the bat, first pitch swinging and a foul down the left field line and out of play. Descalzo In the game last night, went 0 for 3. He had 3 strikeouts. With Nolan Arenado on deck. Swing and a miss. Nothing in 2.
Good changeup. And that really is the pitch he gets a lot of swinging throughs with.
That's the pitch he threw a lot of in Dodger Stadium.
When you start rating his specialty pitches, I think it's his best one.
Scalzo hitting .266. And a high fastball taken 1 and 2. On the appeal, no swing. So we'll keep an eye on Johnny Cueto. If he does have a bump in the road, a lot of times it's in the first inning. No overshift. The pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Posey will check Blackman. Wisely so, because Blackman was going to go.
All right, time for our Nissan keys to the game. Number 1, Johnny Cueto, get comfortable. Remember, he had that grade 1 strain, so they'll be watching him closely. And hopefully he can get in that comfort zone early. And number 2 for the Giants, make John Gray work. The big right-hander for the Rockies. Got great stuff. Get some pitches out of him. Those are our Nissan keys to the game.
So here's Arenado hitting at .293. Panic will keep an eye on Blackman, the runner at second. And the first pitch is inside to Nolan Arenado. Lifetime against Cueto, only 3 hits in 17 at bats, but one of those hits left the park. So Arenado steps out, adjusts the batting gloves. Rockies and Giants have played 18 times this year. They're 9-9. On the ground, foul. It's 1 and 2. Or check that. 1 ball and 1 strike. Arenado 1 for 4 on Tuesday. And then he had a base hit that knocked in the first run of the game. In the game last night where the Rockies won 2-0. Foul back. He had a good rip, 1 and 2. So there was a challenge out over the plate. Right where Arenado likes it.
At 91. Last year, Arenado had 42 home runs, 130 RBIs, and then he backed it up this year. I mean, I think that's what you want to do when you have a breakout year. You want to do it again. I mean, that absolutely gives you a great credibility as a player. So he comes in with 40 home runs, 130 RBIs. You know, he believes in these situations. Absolutely stiffens up with runners in scoring position.
In the dirt. Dug out by Buster Posey. 2 and 2. Both starters in this series have been terrific for the Giants. Matt Moore, very good on Tuesday. Jeff Samardzija was fabulous. Just did not get any run support. This is down the right field line. That's going to slice into the seats. Behind the plate tonight is Ron Kulpa. Then it's Meals, Nauert, and Mark Wegner from first to third.
And Ron Kulpa, if you're a pitcher, you're going to have a happy night with him back there. He's got a big strike zone. He'll call low, he'll call high, and you got width on both sides of the plate. It's a good zone to pitch to.
Arenado on the ground, and it's past Gillespie. It's going to knock in Blackman, and Arenado's got a double. It's 1-0. So here's Gonzalez.
Just to the right. They don't get a lot of time. So Arenado trades places with Blackman.
So here's Carlos Gonzalez at 298. Swing, ain't gonna miss. No balls and 1 strike.
Again, another first pitch swing. Kind of as expected. When you've had the kind of ownage that Cueto has had on the Rockies this year, I mean, these guys are going to talk about you. They're going to try and figure out how to get at you.
Two. David Dahl is on deck. So a couple of doubles here in the first. And he got him.
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Change up first pitch and then 2 fastballs. The last one an elevator across the letters. Just going country hardballing right across the Colorado. Strikeout number 2.
Here David Dahl hitting .316. He's a rook. And he drives one out into right center field, and nobody's there. So coming in to score is Arenado, and Dahl is headed for 3, and that's where he will end up with a triple.
Another example of first ball fastball hitting or first ball swinging, period. And he got a fastball. And one thing we found out about Dahl, I mean, he's dialed on fastball. He gets one right at the belt, middle in, tucks those elbows in, squares it up nicely. They played him over in the left center field side. So in essence, he hits it away from the defense. So 3 extra base hits here in the first inning against Cueto.
So here's Tom Murphy, and Murphy takes a strike. Murphy at 286 with 5 home runs, 12 driven in. And this is hook foul. Look out. 0-2. That one had a little mustard on it coming into that section.
Hey, she got the ball, and everybody's happy.
Just outside.
Not that far away from where strike 1 was called. Just a bit outside.
Which is high, 2-2.
$15 runs allowed the first inning, the most of any inning for him this season.
So Murphy strikes out, and that'll end the inning. Cueto ends up striking out the side, but he also gives up 3 extra base hits. Span will lead things off. 2-0. Here's the Giants lineup that'll face Jonathan Gray. It'll be Span, Belt, and Buster Posey. And you see his home run numbers against the Rockies. Lifetime. Pence, Crawford, and Pagan. It'll be Panic in the 7th slot. Then Gillespie and Cueto.
On the hill tonight for the Colorado Rockies will be John Gray, the big right-hander, 6'4", 235 pounds. Gray, 24 years of age. On the season, start number 29. He's 10-9 with a 4.54 ERA, 182 strikeouts in 162 and 2/3 innings. Tells you what kind of stuff he has. You'll see a fastball that goes mid to high 90s with a good hard curveball, slider, changeup combination. And he's on a roll right now. His last 13 innings, he has struck out 26, feeling a lot of confidence with all of his pitches.
So here's Span. Now I've got some really good news for you. Giants, the guys in this lineup combined have 16 at bats against Jonathan Gray, and they've had 1 hit.
Well, it makes him do.
And that hit was a hit by Denard Span. How about that?
Well, a leadoff walk, they'll take it. Let's take a look at the Colorado Rockies defensive lead tonight, starting in the outfield from left to right. It's going to be Dahl, Blackman, and Gonzalez, the best arm in right field. Adames and Arenado on the left side of the infield. Descalzo and Parra on the right side. Tom Murphy, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
So here's Belt. Overshift is on for Belt, and that's fouled at the plate. Buster Posey to follow. And Belt fouls it again off the backstop.
John Gray is going to try and establish both sides of the plate with that fastball with strikes. Inside corner, outside corner.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
No, I'm done. I'm 0 for 1.
All right. We think the Cardinals beat the Reds 4-3. Belt stays alive. So that is a final 4-3.
So the Giants know what they have to do. To keep that 1-game lead, they've got to win.
Overshift on. Arenado, the only defender on the left side. It's 0-2 to Belt with Posey on deck. Double play. Two down. Here's Posey.
Well, the first bad break of the night, and it's got Belt talking to himself. Hits the ball on a 2-strike count right on the button. Top spin liner, and Gerardo Parra goes up. Doesn't even have to move his feet. Up and step on the bag. 2 steps, and it's a double play, unassisted. And there isn't anything that Span could have done.
And a strike to Buster Posey. 286, 14 home runs, 75 runs batted in. And a call strike, and it's nothing in 2.
John Gray, you see a lot of styles similar to Gray's windup. It's almost a little rock bat, about a 3-inch take back with his front foot. I mean, that's just an as abbreviated of a windup as you can get. It's almost a stretch position. But you see it around baseball a lot. It's kind of the windup du jour. But what it does is it keeps you very quiet, keeps you very balanced. And for big guys like Gray, who's 6'4", it keeps you back on your back leg.
And this pop-up is down the right field line and out of play. Yep. Party time here at the yard. The 1-2 pitch to Buster Posey. And he got him on the inside corner. After one, it's 2-0 Rockies.
CSN Bay Area is brought to you by AAA. What does your insurance do when it's not doing insurance? It should do more. Go to AAA.com for more details.
Here's Gerardo Parra. And he takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. Parra, Adames, and Gray. One ball and 1 strike.
Such a great changeup, and everybody who starts a game against Cueto, they're thinking about that changeup. That's how good it is. And when that happens, it makes whatever fastball you're running out there better. See great fastball hitters swinging through it, swinging late on a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. It means the guy's got a great changeup.
There's a base hit to right field. Dodgers are in this weekend. It's Star Wars Day on Saturday, and the first 20,000 fans are going to receive a Star Wars t-shirt. Fan Appreciation Day on Sunday, and one lucky fan on Sunday will drive home with a 2016 Toyota Prius. sfgiants.com/tickets. Here's Christian Adames. And Crawford is going to run this little pop-up down.
Been pretty steady all the way through this time through the lineup. They've been very aggressive on that first pitch. I mean, it's great when that happens, you get a 1 pitch out of it.
So here's Gray. Gray is 6 for 45, and he bunts this one foul. Posey gave it a good shot, but Ron Culpa said nope. May have been where it hit and then rolled back. Oh, and 1. And foul again.
I mean, that's not that easy to do.
It's not. You're right.
Bunt a ball, have it take 2 hops and die.
So a quick 0-2 to Jonathan Gray. And it's high. That's where Buster wanted it.
And they have good speed with Parr at first base. I mean, they're going to play, and hopefully if the ball gets put in play, it'll have enough on it to where they can get it out at second. If that's the case, they can get a double play.
A high strike, 2 outs. And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Charlie Blackmon. Blackmon double to open up the game. Parra with good speed at first. He's got 6 steals on the year. And he takes wide, 1 ball and no strikes. Foul back. Cueto got in on his hands.
Yeah, that's that little flat cutter. That's exactly where he's trying to put it. Cutter with the flat movement, and it's not big. It's starting. We're talking 3 to 4 inches of flat slide. Start that thing on the inside corner, let it run in on a guy. It really is difficult for a left-handed hitter to get the barrel on it. It's a pitch that's not designed for tilt. It's designed to be flat.
So Parra being held on by Belt. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. And he rolls this one to Belt, and that'll end the inning. For the Giants, it'll be Pence, Crawford, and Pagan coming up.
CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
Well, the Giants Insider podcast is sponsored by Max Muscle Sports Nutrition, and it's live on csnbayarea.com. You can also see it on iTunes.
Here's Pence. One and one to Hunter Pence. That's at 294, 13 home runs, 56 driven in. Wraps this one to Arenado. And Pence is retired. So here's Crawford. Crawford last night after a 4-hit game on Tuesday. Crawford came back yesterday, went 0 for 2, had a walk. And he takes down low. Good spot.
Best seat in the house. Got armrests, warm as can be.
Crawford out of play.
And your seat will feed you. Doesn't get any better than that. Yep, got a little bit of a swivel there and a vibrator. Best seat in the house.
Crawford lifts this one out into left center field for Blackman. 2 outs. And here's Pagan. Pagan hit at 270 with 11 home runs. Pagan with 53 runs batted in. Two for 8 in the series. First pitch is down low.
Hey, our skateboard dog is back. One of our favorite dogs ever, right here. Push it back.
Pagan swinging and fouling off the front of the second level. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. And Pagan rolls this one right behind Billy Hayes. 2-2.
It's the first time through the lineup. John Gray has thrown a lot of fastballs, breaking balls out, a little bit of a cutter. He's pretty much coming at him with hard stuff. You got that 2 runs in the top of the first, so you start your game and you feel like you have a little bit of a cushion on the get-go. And he's taking advantage of that.
And it's past par down the right field line, and Pagan's got extra base hit. And he is going to go for 3, and he's going to make it. They had a shot at him if Descalzo can hang on.
Well, with Parra and Descalso, those are two really good arms. And anything that Descalso gets his hands on, he's got one of the more accurate, strong arms with a chance to get you. They played protecting the gap they gave the line. Just a top spin, one-hop seed right by Parra. Hits completely away from the defense, and Pagan sniffing triple on the get-go. Belly slide for style points. First hit of the night for the Giants.
And it's Panic to hit.
Yep. Salute back to Pagan. First pitch is better than the second one.
And it got 2 hits on Tuesday, then got shut down in the game last night where they went 0 for 3. Fouls this one back. It's 1-2.
With a runner at third base, I mean, you see most guys go from the stretch position, but Gray is actually in the windup. What he's doing, the runner at third base, I mean, you could pitch windup or stretch. I mean, now he just switched and went completely out of the stretch. So it's hard to tell when he goes in the windup to the stretch. Not often you see a guy do both in the same at bat with a runner at third, and Gray has done that. Once he spreads out like that, he'll pitch out of the stretch, and he won't take that little 3-inch step.
Hit out to left for Dahl, and that'll end the inning. No runs, a triple, 1 left. After 2, it's 2-0 Colorado.
Baseball on CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
It is 2-0 in favor of the Rockies. And Daniel Descalso, who struck out in the first, takes a ball. It's 1 ball and no strikes. And a base hit. It's the 3rd straight inning the Rockies have opened up the inning with a base hit. On October 1st, the Giants will celebrate Star Wars Day, and with a special ticket, you're going to get a Madison Bumgarner Stormtrooper bobblehead and a ticket. sfgiants.com/special events.
That's a good one. For Johnny Cueto, he has to feel like he's been in the stretch the whole night.
Arenado fouls this one straight back. Arenado with Carlos Gonzalez on deck. Arenado pulled one right over the bag at third in the first inning. There he takes high. Cueto with pitch number 38 coming up. And he takes wide. It's 2-1.
Arenado has hit it to 17 double plays this year. That's a lot. But that does not lead the Rockies. P.J. LeMahieu has 19. Gerardo Parra has 16. That's a lot of double plays. They've hit into 112 on the year.
Blocked by Buster Posey. So it's now 3-1. So Arenado laying the bushes on this pitch. He's got 40 home runs and 131 runs batted in. 3-2.
He had a little greed behind that swing. And you really cringe when you throw something lazy up above the belt. And this had hang written all over it. A slider that kind of backed up on him. And he may need an adjustment after that swing.
Very close. Parra. It wasn't that Parra was going anywhere, or Descalzo was going anywhere. He just got caught off.
I mean, that's not even a big lead, but he had just about a half a lead going. That was close.
Very close. The Giants are looking at it.
Take a look at.
Oh, Mike, they might have got him.
I think they got him.
Yeah, I'd take a look at it. Yeah, they're going to look at it.
This will tell you he's out.
Yep.
And that's a big play when you consider it's a 3-2 count with Arenado.
And this replay review is presented by Xfinity.
Well, you get it in situation to a guy who's got 131 RBIs. I mean, that's a big pitch. Left foot, and they get him in the right thigh. He's out.
You don't need a pair of new glasses to see that.
I have no doubt about this one. And quite honestly, I'm a little surprised it's gone this long. They just replayed it here at the ballpark, and 41,000 people all agreed he's out.
Yeah, so they got him.
But again, I mean, that just takes all the pressure off this 3-2 pitch. It's a get it in situation. That's the 6th pickoff that Cueto has had this year, and that's not going to make Walt Weiss happy.
Well, especially if you're not going anywhere. Buster Posey, this is going to be a challenge. Gillespie taking over, and Posey says thank you very much. On that, let's check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, let's get fans an update on Eduardo Nunez. He pulled his hamstring last Sunday. Bruce Bochy talking about him today, said he's feeling better, he's getting closer, but he is questionable for the weekend. Nunez a little more hopeful, hoping he can come back tomorrow or Saturday. It is obviously an injury you do not want to mess with, Dwayne.
No, you don't. And he's missed.
Well, you're right. His energy is absolutely missed.
So Gonzalez swings and misses. Gonzalez struck out in the first inning. Here he lines it into left field, and it's going to shoot past Pagan. So Gonzalez is going to have a 2-out double with David Dahl coming up.
Little two-seamer running the outside corner, and Gonzalez always has been a very good middle-of-the-way hitter. Here he goes the opposite gap. I watched this thing scoot. Pagan never had a chance to cut this one off. So with 2 outs, he puts himself in scoring position for Dahl. And more stress on the inning.
Dahl takes a strike. Dahl tripled. Hit a ball just to the right of straightaway center field for a triple in the first inning.
Well, they beat him with a fastball inside his last at bat. Here they're staying away with hard stuff.
And the 1-1 swing. You're going to miss 1-2. Down low.
Tried to elevate the fastball. Dahl not biting.
So I don't think Cueto wanted to go after Dahl. He'd rather face Murphy.
Well, he pitched him with respect. He had an open first base. Dahl impressed him in his first at bat with a triple. So hey, if you're not 100% sure of a guy, you got an open base, take advantage of it. You're down 2 runs.
So Gonzalez and Dahl are your base runners. Pitch strike to Murphy. Murphy struck out on a pitch in the dirt to end the first. Two. Murphy swung at that like he was looking for something else.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he was between thoughts on that swing. Cueto, he can keep climbing the ladder. He can go to an off-speed pitch below.
Got him. So Cueto allows 3 base runners and gives up nothing.
on CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com.
Well, the most popular way to follow the Giants' postseason push is with the MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Check it out.
All right, here's Connor Gillespie. Gillespie hitting .250 with 6 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Giants with a 2-out triple from Angel Pagan. They had a walk in the first inning. Belt got robbed. Otherwise, that inning may still be going on.
She's got her Giants hat on.
Yeah, she's ready.
Dad.
1-2.
That will not be the last time they dance together.
So Gillespie gathering his thoughts as he steps back in. 1-2. And a base hit.
That's a good stroke. Right now, it's time for our Togo's big play the Togo's way. And last night against the Rockies, Jeff Samardzija, 6 innings, 7 hits allowed, a couple runs, 11 strikeouts, and a walk on 93 pitches. He was absolutely electric with the strikeout stuff. And he has really had a great second half. And that is our Togo's big play the Togo's way.
Cueto will show bunt, and Cueto will bunt it, and now he's going to have to run to stay out of the double play, but for whatever reason Murphy said nope, I'm not going to throw to second.
I thought they had him easy.
I did too.
Ball just did not get that far away from home plate. So Giants catch a break there and they get that runner in scoring position.
John Miller is coming over for innings 4, 5, and 6. Here's Denard Span with Gillespie at second base. And a bouncing ball to Arenado, and from his knees, 2 outs.
From the knees, he makes it look too easy. I mean, he did all the things you need to do there. Caught the ball, and on his knee, he looked back, stopped Gillespie if he had any ideas to come over to third. Then from his knee, came through with the play. Look, and just a little sidearm flip from the knees as a strike. And this is our Exmo. It's brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Look, the runner back, swing.
Here's Belt. Belt lined out to Parra in the first inning. He's going to hit one high and foul down the left field line and out of play. Belt out of play again. It's 0-2. All right.
Hey, nice play. Look who got the ball.
You got a winner.
Psyched.
0-2 to Belt.
It's not just a baseball. It's a big league baseball.
Well, plus, there's a story to tell. 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. And the appeal, nothing.
Mark Wegner, the third base umpire, saying no swing. Good call, Mark. At a bit.
Yep.
You did good. So, given the at-bat that Belt had last time against Gray, maybe Murphy went out there to remind Gray that he's got an open base here. Not that you'd have to be that excited about pitching to Buster Posey with a couple of guys on, but it's at least a thought.
Belt got a piece, and you'll see another pitch.
Yep. Well, if it's date night, keeping her happy, you did a good thing. Took her to a game.
2-2. Foul again.
All right, this guy had a chance. She went down and won the scrum.
And this guy dinged his phone.
And she's horse laughing him. And now you have the rest of the story.
2-2 to Belt. 3-2 to Belt.
It's not that easy of a take right there.
Yeah, I think Gray made the pitch he wanted to make. Belt rolls another one foul.
.91-mile-an-hour slider. That's quality pitch there in the 3-2 count. And in your mind, if you don't care if you walk the guy, I mean, you can try and make those pitches.
Got him, and that'll end the inning. 96. John Miller will be in. I'll see you back here in the 7th.
For the top of the 4th inning, Rockies 2, Giants nothing. Joining us now in the booth, Mo Powell, John Miller.
Dave Fleming on assignment, so Kipe has moved over to the radio side. And the Giants still trying to score a run against these Rockies young right-handers. Not able to last night against Chatwood, and so far unable against Gray. And these are two pretty impressive young guys.
Well, Gray has really been on a roll. We mentioned his last 2 outings. I mean, he's pitched 13 innings. He struck out 26 coming into tonight's start. Now, he hasn't had the strikeout pitch going. He's got 2 on the night through 3 innings. But he has shown some electricity.
He struck out Belt with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball to end the Giants' 3rd. Cueto has allowed 6 hits, including 4 for extra bases, 3 doubles and a triple. Gerardo Parra, who has the best batting average of any current Rocky against Cueto, and in fact Parra hit a single to right back in the 2nd inning, the first time he batted in this game. Up and in, 2-1.
Look out.
So I'm guessing you guys have already talked about some controversy at the end of the game in St. Louis about the way that game ended.
We need to talk about it some more because it really is an ongoing conversation. There you see the final, but the way that it ended, the Reds did not agree with the final score. But apparently they didn't notify the umpires in time, and the game was ended.
And I'm not sure about why they would have a problem notifying them in time when it's not like you have to worry about losing your call. The game has just ended, apparently, and you have a chance to maybe have that overturned so that it doesn't end. It was a ball, I guess, and I haven't seen the play yet, but they thought it was a ground rule double, that it bounced up into the crowd, and that the runner that scored the winning run should have been stopped at 3rd base on the ground rule double, or the automatic double.
Well, we saw it the first time it happened. We didn't see the replays of it, and it hit. It was high on the wall. We couldn't tell if it went into the stands, but hey, like you say, it's a walk-off win for the Cardinals. What have you got to lose by notifying the umpires that, hey, we want to take a look at that? And the umpires are contending that the Reds did not notify them in time. But it just seems ridiculous if you have access to a replay and you're talking about a chance to go to the playoffs. I mean, there is some huge significance to that game. Why are we being ticky-tacky about it? Wasn't notified to the umpires within a 10-second time limit.
Brandon Belt, and he's going to take it himself. Oh, wow. Now Cueto was right there. I'm not sure why he didn't just throw the ball to Cueto. And he did get Parra, but not by very much. I think the Giants would like to see Cueto run around as little as possible tonight, but he was there.
I mean, if you're going to take it yourself, that had a little drama at the end. Belt slowed down. I think he took his eye off the hitter, but Parra, to his credit, running hard through the play. And it's bang, bang.
Hey, drama. And it's 0-1 to Adames, who popped up to short his first time.
60 pitches on the night. A lot of first pitch swinging from the Rockies against Cueto tonight.
2-0, Colorado ahead. That game in St. Louis, the umpires were gone. Cardinals left the field, and the Reds, they were all still in their dugout, and they were talking about it. Ground crew started to come up and head out to the field, start raking. There's strike 2, 1-2 to count. It was an odd scene there in St. Louis when that game actually ended, because the Reds, their players were all in the dugout thinking, well, it didn't just end. The guy's supposed to stop at 3rd, didn't he? And Cueto gets the strikeout. Adames is retired.
6 strikeouts now for Cueto. They're all 6 swing and miss strike 3 strikeouts. So when you put the K up there when Cueto's pitching, you got to put the cap, the dreadlocks. Perfect. Who came up with that? That's the best.
Come on, got to be faster than that. Strike one, the count. Well, he's kind of racking them up at a quick pace. Maybe they're a little behind out there. That's a base hit for Gray. 2-out single after Cueto had struck out Adames. But Gray gets the base hit. Gray is not a bad hitter. That's his 7th hit of the year and 47 at bats. I guess I define not a bad hitter. If he's got 7 hits, I don't care how many at bats. That's pretty good. He's a pretty good hitter.
Yeah, he can hit. I mean, that was a little cutter that he went right center field gap the way you're supposed to.
Charlie Blackmon led off the first inning with a double, starting a 2-run rally. The Rockies jumping ahead in this game, and they still lead by that 2-0 score as we play here in the 4th. Blackmon having an outstanding season. He's hitting .320. He's got 28 homers. And although he's been the leadoff man, the primary leadoff man for the Rockies, 79 runs batted in. Leads the club in steals. Down the right field line. Foul. One ball, 2 strikes. Well, I would like to hear the whole explanation of how that thing unfolded in St. Louis. And if you're the Reds, why would it take you so long to ask for a replay?
Well, that's the question. It should be automatic. And the other question is, why would you even have to ask? If there's any controversy, why don't you just look at it?
Foul tip off the glove of Buster Posey. So he's still alive, just barely.
Next pitch will be number 70. Ideally, at the end of 4, you're at 60 or less, so he's a little bit over where he should be. And a lot of these throws have been out of the stretch position tonight. A lot of them.
The Rockies have 7 hits, and now he does strike out Blackmon. Number 7. 7 strikeouts for Johnny Cueto in 4 innings. Posey, Pence, Crawford coming up.
On CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Bank of America. Life's better when we're connected.
It's 2-0 Colorado. The Giants coming up in the last of the 4th inning with Posey, then Pence and Brandon Crawford. So some of their top hitters coming up here against Jonathan Gray. We were getting some more info from the final play in St. Louis as to why, because we just had wondered, well, why would it have taken the Reds so long to ask for a replay review of it? And apparently the crowd was so loud, the replay review room, their own in the clubhouse at Busch Stadium, was calling the dugout to try to tell them to ask for the review, and the crowd was just so loud that nobody heard the phone ring in the dugout. Although I would still have more questions than that. They have an oddity about that left field wall in St. Louis. Besides, there's the wall, and then there's a little recess above the top of that wall as Posey looks at a curveball for a called strike from Gray. There's another part of the wall that goes up that is out of play. And I think what happened is that ball bounced up over the wall and hit that secondary wall, which is itself out of play, which would make it an automatic double, a ground rule double, and that runner would have had to stop at third and not be allowed to score. And but that being the case, I was wondering if the left fielder for the Reds, is he not waving into the dugout saying, hey, hold on, hold on. Posey takes the ball. I know with the Giants, their protocol, every player, whether he's a runner or in the field, you think they got a call wrong, immediately signal to us, and we'll be checking it out.
It's a good breaking ball right there on the 2-1 count. Get a chance from the camera behind home plate to see just how quick the break on that breaking ball is. I mean, you could tell just that last pitch as to why this guy's strikeout totals are what they are. I mean, he's got some electricity on the snap of that breaking ball. Ooh, just missed with 96.
3-2 now to Buster Posey. Off the mask of the catcher on that foul.
Posey asking Tom Murphy, the catcher for the Rockies, if he's all right, if he needs a little more time. That foul ball hit him right square in the face mask.
And it's a walk for Buster. Second walk allowed by Gray. Let's check in with our colleague Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, Buster Posey talked about what is at stake last night. We're going to make it our Geico quote this evening. He said, we're a game up with 4 to go. We control our own fate. If you were to tell us in spring training we'd be controlling our own fate with 4 to go, well, obviously the goal is to win the division, but we are in a good spot. Positive way to look at it, gentlemen.
And the reality at the same time.
That's how you have to look at it. You cannot dwell on the negative this deep in this season. It will eat you up.
On 1 to Hunter Pence, grounded out to third his first time.
Pence up there looking for a mistake. Something he can drive.
See, the Rockies are bunched up towards center field in the outfield. Just got by Murphy, but not far enough for Buster to advance. A ball and a strike. Gray, here in September, he had that great start 2 starts ago against San Diego. A 4-hit shutout with 16 strikeouts and no walks. Down the right field line. Cargo, no. Into the second archway. Buster digging for third. Pence standing at second with a double.
And that lights up the crowd. This ball in the outer part of the plate, right at the knees. Two-seam movement, bringing it back into the middle. And Pitts just launches it. Watch that bat knob lead through the swing. Stay inside the ball. And Gonzalez never had a chance. Posey a little stutter step there, and that's going to cause him any chance to score. But I mean, look, he's got catcher's legs on him. Nobody out. I don't think you can really ask him to try and score there, or expect him to, especially with Cargo's arm in right field.
So nobody out. Brandon Crawford, the hitter. Middle infield is backed up. And high and foul. 95-mile-an-hour fastball. That is back out of play. Arenado from third. Dahl from left. Both gave chase, but it was several rows back into the crowd. Crawford with 84 RBIs last year. His career best, 82 so far this year. And he could get a couple right here with a base hit. Even a ground ball to the second baseman should get a run home and would also get Pence to third. Pagan on deck. That'll get Posey to the plate, but not Pence to third. So the 83rd RBI for Crawford. The Giants are on the board for the first time since Tuesday night. And it is 2-1 Colorado.
So Posey collecting the high fives back in the dugout. And Crawford taking advantage of a laid back infield. But now this sets it up for Pagano. This becomes a big at bat. Keep that momentum going in your dugout.
Pagan hit a triple in his first at bat. That was in the second inning. Again, the panoramic look at the Rockies defensive alignment. The shortstop, Adames, over behind Pence, way up the middle. Called a strike.
Backdoor curveball action. Don immediately asking plate umpire Ron Copa if that was too high.
One ball, one strike now to Pagan.
An average arm in left field. Even with Blackman, who has an average arm in center, he has such a quick release. He's a good assist outfielder. And then you've got a very strong arm in right field with Gonzalez. But the pitch runs well.
Pagan is thrown out by Descalso, and now Pence goes over to third. So 2 down, runner at third, and Joe Panic, who comes up with 2 down and a runner at third for the second straight time. He ended up hitting a fly ball to left back in the second. Giants have not yet had a hit in this game with a runner in scoring position, nor did they last night. Last night, they only had one such at bat all the way up until the 9th inning. Two to one, the Rockies leading. The possible tying run at third base in the person of Hunter Pence. A bloop. Adames can't get to it, and neither can Dahl. Pence has crossed the plate. This one is tied. He got it in just in front of Dahl. It's 2-2.
And that is the life they've been looking for. And it comes by way of a 2-out knock from Panic. Just up the bat. Out there in the no man's land between Dahl and Adames, the shortstop. And they haven't had many of these of late.
2-2, and here is Connor Gillespie. He ripped a single to left center his first time. Curveball for a strike. Posey led off the inning with a walk. Then Pence slammed one into the right field corner for a double. Crawford knocked in Posey with an infield out, and then with 2 down, Panic has knocked in Pence. Panic at first. Parra plays him on the bag. Connor Gillespie hitting 8th in the order at the plate. Gray is low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Back at him again with that breaking ball. Think about Connor Gillespie. He's not the kind of hitter you can throw a steady guy to anything to. You've got to mix it up. Mixed movement, mixed location, mixed speed. Very balanced hitter.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes. Third base umpire Mark Wegner made the call. So it's 1-2 now to Gillespie. Up the middle, base hit. Connor Gillespie is 2 for 2 in this game. Connor playing in the absence of Eduardo Nunez. And he's had 5 hits in the 3 games.
2-seam fastball. I mean, that's a mistake to location, and Connor Gillespie really keeping his head down through the swing beautifully, using the middle of the field. He's a professional hitter, and you make mistakes like that to you, and he's going to square it up.
Well, Gillespie's 5 hits in 9 at-bats in this 3-game series. So here's Johnny Cueto. Now, he laid down a sacrifice his first time. Now he's going to try to be the RBI man.
Well, this is when he gives you his best at-bats, when there's a runner in scoring position.
He's knocked in 5 this year. And it's 0-1. Cueto is the 7th Giant to come to bat in this inning. 2-2 the score. 0-2. Hunter Pence slammed a double into the right field corner. By the way, the MLB at bat app said his double left the bat at 107 miles per hour.
And that's going the opposite way too. And that's a pretty remarkable stat. Gives you an idea how strong his hands are. You take a ball to right field, I mean down the line, and hit it at that velocity, you've got strong hands.
2 strikes to Johnny Cueto. Panic at second. Gillespie at first. And I think a lot of the fans saw that ball get past Murphy before Joe Panic saw it. And from Panic's angle, he may never have realized how far away it got, and Murphy himself didn't seem to realize it at first.
Well, I just don't think, as you point out, that he didn't see it. He just couldn't tell how far behind Murphy it was, and if there's any hesitation at all, you hunker down, stay put.
And that is all for Johnny Cueto. The Giants have rallied to tie the game. And we move to the 5th inning. Cueto will go back to the mound. This bloop single by Panic got the tying run home. Descalso, Arenado, Gonzalez coming up for Colorado.
on CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
Giants 2, Rockies 2 as we head to the 6th inning. The Rockies a 2-run first inning against Cueto, and then the Giants a 2-run 4th against Gray. Daniel Descalso leads off here, and then the power hitters will come up, Arenado and Cargo. Descalso takes a called strike, and it's 0-1. 2 runs, 7 hits for Colorado, 2 runs, 5 hits for the Giants. Cueto got the call on the outside. That one drifting away from Descalso. 0-2. A ball and 2 strikes. By the way, we're more information coming to us out of St. Louis. Apparently the left fielder, and I believe Adam Duvall, at least he started that game in left field, the former Giant. The foul ball, still 1 ball, 2 strikes. When that ball hit above the wall, apparently that's what happened. It hit that second section of the wall, which is recessed and out of play. But he played the carom and he fired in to the infield. So, you know, to keep the winning run, trying to keep the winning run from scoring. Ball back out of play, which is what you're supposed to do. You can't wait. You can't start claiming that the play should be called if the umpires haven't called it, and let the winning run score while you're shouting at the umpires. And then pandemonium broke loose in St. Louis. The crowd roaring, and that is off the outside. 2-2 now to Descalso. But apparently, we understand after the run scored, it was 35 seconds expired before Brian Price came out of the dugout to ask for the replay review. Belt started after it, and he's not going to get there. Cueto does just in time. Wow.
Just fundamentals, boy. And if you hesitate at all with the speed of Descalso, you're not going to have a chance to get over to first base. You know, you look like guys have good solid seasons year after year after year. It's just good fundamentals. Zero hesitation from Cueto. He knows he's got to hurry with Descalso's speed. With Belt committing to the play, he was out of position to get back to the bag. And in the end, it goes 4-1. It's a calm play, but there was a lot going on there, and instinct had everything to do with it.
So well done by Cueto, and by Panic for that matter, throwing to a guy who's racing over there. So one down here is Arenado. He got his 24th RBI of this season against the Giants back in the first, which was his 131st of the season. One more than the number with which he finished last year. So he's had 2 straight years of 40+ homers and 130+ RBIs. Pretty impressive. Pop-up foul. He had a big cut at that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. He had a double right past third and down the left field line back in the first inning. Fouled out to third in inning number 3.
I mean, that went way up in the view level, the upper deck of this ballpark. I mean, you don't see many balls go up there.
He went 2/3 of the way up.
That's right behind home plate.
It's like a reverse home run. In cricket, that's in play. If you hit it behind.
Really?
Yeah. He may have hit a 6er in cricket. 1-1. And he lunged at that one and got a piece of it to fight it off. A ball and 2 strikes to Nolan Arenado. Only Adrian Gonzalez of the Dodgers and Matt Kemp, now with Atlanta, have hit more home runs against the Giants than Arenado. It's a clean single in the left field, hit very hard. His second hit of the game. Now here is Carlos Gonzalez.
And that hit right there puts the batting average of Arenado right at 295. And you know what he's thinking about with a weekend left. He's thinking he can get to 300.
Cargo has struck out and doubled in this game. He's still one RBI shy of 100. So I have a feeling, I feel like I know what he's thinking.
Oh yeah.
And the sooner the better for number 100.
Well, he had a ball hit on the top of the wall in left field last night. Was it last night or 2 nights ago?
No, last night.
It was last night. Okay, so that, I mean, it was literally inches away from a home run. If he doesn't get the 100 RBIs, that's going to haunt him the rest of his life.
That one out over the plate, but he merely fouled it back into the crowd. 2 strikes.
The Rockies this weekend, in case you're wondering, they go back to Colorado and finish up their season with 3 against the Brewers.
Oh, 2 the count, 1 out. Arenado at first. And popped up foul back out of play.
But 100 RBIs for a middle of the order guy, I mean, that's the real deal. He's done it one time. Gonzalez did it back in 2010 when he had a 34 home run, 117 RBI a year. Last year, he had 40 home runs, but he only had 97 RBIs. I say only, but with 40 home runs, you figure it's a lock for 100 plus. Wasn't the case.
Struck him out. You saw Buster give the little signal to Lassiter to get it up. And he did, and Gonzalez could not catch up.
8th strikeout of the night, 7th swing and miss. And they go above the strike zone, right across the Colorado. Grab some pine.
Now David Dahl. He tripled to knock in Colorado's second run in the first inning. He walked in the third. Cueto has not yet retired him tonight. This is a rookie, and he is swinging the bat very impressively. 207 official at bats. Ball and a strike now. Two down, Arenado at first. And that's back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That we've been talking about the winning run in St. Louis, the walk-off hit, the double, which apparently from the we have seen replays of it now. Should have been scored as a ground rule double, and the runner should have been sent back to third. And that is a ball. 2-2 the count. And the MLB network ran a clock from the moment Matt Carpenter crossed the plate with the winning run to the time that Brian Price popped up out of the dugout to ask for a replay review. It was 34 seconds. And the umpires were not there. It was pandemonium on the field. The crowd was going nuts. The Cardinals had come pouring out of their dugout to second base, and they were pouring Gatorade out. And over the guy who hit the ball. And they were all celebrating the victory.
Major celebration.
Struck him out. The changeup. Johnny Cueto sailing through some stormy waters there, and he got through it.
broadcast is presented by authority of the San Francisco Giants. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LLC.
We're at AT&T Park, downtown San Francisco. Giants 2, Rockies 2, last of the 5th inning. Top of the order with the Giants. Denard Span takes ball 1 from Jonathan Gray. Span has walked and grounded out to third. Giants with a 2-run 4th inning, breaking through against Gray. 2-0. Span with a .329 on base average for the year. Brandon Belt on deck. Buster Posey due third in the inning. Recovered by Descalso, and he still gets him. 1 away. Well, join the Giants next March at spring training in Scottsdale. Giants Vacations offers the most unique behind-the-scenes spring training fan experience available. And here's your chance to be a part of it. All Giants spring training packages sold out this past year, so make sure you book your reservations right now. Visit sfgiants.com/vacations for more info.
I think they're booking their reservations right now.
Do not delay. Arenado, foul ground. And Belt is gone just like that. He walks away from the plate shaking his head.
You don't see him have any one-pitch at bats.
Don't let those people beat you into booking your Giants vacation trip to spring training.
They're tough to beat now. A couple of gamer babes from Half Moon Bay.
And I think we've met them down there before. Here comes Buster Posey, who has struck out. He walked to lead off the 4th inning. That started the 2-run rally that tied the game. That's foul out of play. It is fun down there. We sometimes go to they have functions where the fans, after seeing the game, then they have a big barbecue, and sometimes right there at the ballpark on the second field behind the right field wall at Scottsdale Stadium. And current players and former players, sometimes Bruce Bochy, and usually a broadcaster or two. And it's just a lot of fun. The fans can ask questions, get autographs from the players who were there. 2-1 the count. And it kind of makes the whole thing a little bit easier anyway. Your trip to spring training, you get the hotel and the tickets to the game.
It is a good time. It really is.
2-1 to Buster. 2 down, nobody on. Check swing. 3-1. Hunter Pence on deck. And Buster, for the second straight time, draws a walk. In the National League wildcard division, the Mets #1. The Giants at the moment a game and a half behind. The Mets no game today. And then the Cardinals, after their win, are a game behind the Giants in the loss column. So with a win, the Giants will still be a game up going into the final weekend. In the American League, Baltimore and Toronto are now tied for the first wild card spot. Detroit got rained out today in their game with Cleveland.
They said they had 5.5 inches of rain in Detroit today on the field, which is why they rained it out. I mean, that's we're from California. That's 2 seasons worth of rain right there.
And they waited over 4 hours before they called it off. They had a 4-hour and 13-minute rain delay before they said, okay, never mind.
They just couldn't get the field in shape. I mean, how could you with that much rain dumped on it?
So that was in Detroit. So that game is going to be played Monday if necessary. Can you imagine if there's a tie in the American League, or even a 3-way tie? And there could be a 4-way tie still for the 2 wild card spots in the American League. Wow. 1-1 the count.
Yeah, Hunter Pence had count leverage, sitting on a 1-0 count. And he was getting after it, and all of a sudden that breaking ball just disappeared on him.
Pretty sharp break on that one from Jonathan Gray. And how do you think he got 16 strikeouts 2 starts ago? He had 10 strikeouts the next start and only 4 innings against the Dodgers. Going back is Gonzalez. He's got plenty of room, and the inning is over. Posey stranded. We head to the 6th inning now. Cueto back to the mound in a tie game. By Coors Banquet. The 25th of May 2013 in this ballpark. The Rockies in town, down by a run with a man aboard. Last of the 10th inning, Angel Pagan at the plate. Run, Angel. Go. Keep going. And inside the park, 2-run, game-ending home run. And that is truly a timeless moment. The Giants, from a 5-4 deficit, won the game 6-5. One of the really, truly most exciting moments in the history of this ballpark.
That was a good one. I mean, there was a downside to it. As right after the game, Angel went on the disabled list for a long time.
The Giants were at the top of the division at that moment, and then they just collapsed after Angel went on the disabled list. By the time he got back near the end of August, they were way under 500. I mean, truly, they went something like 30-52 or whatever it was in the nearly 3 months that he was on the disabled list. And there were other things that happened. It wasn't just that he was lost, but clearly a vital part of the Giants lineup, and they just could not replace him. Remember, they started putting people in the leadoff spot after that, and every one of them went into a tailspin when they got to the leadoff spot. 1-2 the count to Murphy. Struck him out, and that's 10 for Johnny Cueto.
Well, one of the great reactions was Tim Flannery, the third base coach. My butt's on the line, my butt's on the line, and watch Flannery right here. He does the yeehaw daddy. That is heaven for a third base coach with style. Nice going, Flan, man. And today is his birthday, so Tim Flannery, happy birthday to you, friend, and many more.
And he ran every step of the way down that line with Angel. That's a base hit to right field for Gerardo Parra, his second hit of the game. against Johnny Cueto, who is closing in on 100 pitches, and the Giants bullpen gets busy for the first time. 2-2 in the 6th inning. Contos, the right-hander, and Okert, the left-hander.
3 consecutive games now with 10+ strikeouts for Johnny Cueto. That puts him in company with Samardzija, Matt Moore, John Manafusco, Pete Falcone, and Ed Halicki. Three in a row. Moore, Samardzija, Cueto. I mean, that's doing it. If your rotation is putting those kind of numbers up.
Out of play by Adames, a foul ball, strike one.
I mean, what's impressive about that, really for both staffs, Halicki, Falcone, and Manafusco, they did it in August, and for the Giants' top three guys, they did it in September. And strikeouts, big strikeout totals in late September, that's impressive. It means they've done their homework all year.
And you can see there where they post the strikeout total in right field. Crawford was out to get it for a double play. Parra was sure that was going to fall in for a hit. He took off and is easily doubled up. The inning is over. Crawford will be coming up.
On CSN Bay Area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By Kelly Moore Paints, celebrating 70 years as your neighborhood paint store. By Xfinity, X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience TV.
We are back here at AT&T Park for some Giants baseball, and earlier tonight, Ron Wotus, the Giants bench coach, he had some fun. He was able to deliver some fun hardware to Brandon Crawford. Crawford was chosen as the Giants Heart and Hustle Award winner for the 2nd year in a row, gentlemen. The award is voted on by Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association, and they recognize a player from each of the major league teams that best represents passion, values, spirit, and tradition of the game. Final winner announced November 15th at the Legends for Youth dinner in New York. Guys?
All right, thanks to Amy G for updating us on that. Well deserved by Brandon Crawford, and he got the double play there. And I was giving Parra maybe a little bit too much credit, saying that he thought the ball was just going to fall in. Crawford wasn't going to catch up to it. But there's another possibility. Kick saved by Gray, retrieves it, throws it away. The carom and Descalso cannot quite handle it, and Crawford makes it into second base with some heart and great hustle.
Heart and great hustle indeed. And they're going to come out and check out John Gray right now. I'm not sure where that ball hit him on the. Weiss. Let's take a look at where the ball was hit very solidly. On the right ankle. And he hurries the throw, throws up the line. Parr can't get it, and we thought in looking where Descalso was backing up the play, he was going to have a chance to get Crawford, but he couldn't come up with it cleanly. So it should be a base hit and an error. And watch the second baseman Descalso, and you can see his path as he backs up the play, as the second baseman should. And he's in position right there. If he feels it cleanly with his arm, it's probably a slam dunk out. But he couldn't get a handle.
Well, we hope Gray's okay. The Rockies head trainer is Keith Duggar. Weiss out there, also the pitching coach Steve Foster. We're going to have him throw a pitch or two here. It hit him in the right ankle or right foot. It's the push off.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just a stinger. I don't think there's a danger of a fracture or anything like that. But I mean, this is one of their prized possessions in the rotation. It is his last start of the year. So he talks him out of it.
It is, as you expected, Mike, a base hit for Brandon Crawford, plus an error charge to Gray. That's the official ruling by the official scorer. Giants have a runner at second. The possible go-ahead run is at second, and here is Pagan, who has tripled and grounded out to second. Nobody out. There's a bunt. Arenado. Chief. Crawford over to third.
I think the only guy in this league that would have tried to make that play is Arenado. It looked like an absolute perfect bunt. We're going to make it our forward right choice. Most of the third baseman would probably let it go by to see if it indeed would have rolled foul, but Arenado is so confident in his arm, he takes it on, and Pagan legs it out. Our forward right choice. Yep, and everybody's saluting Angel Pagan.
Well, Arenado is just so good, and it was really astonishing that he almost got him, because it did appear that he had any kind of a chance to get him.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to roll foul. Maybe that's what he deducted coming down the line. Remember, he believes in his arm. And even in a play where he legs it out, he shows brilliance defensively.
The Rockies bullpen is busy for the first time. The throw goes back to third, and Crawford is safe at third, and everybody's safe. The Rockies are unhappy with the call. The players on the field anyway. Adames the shortstop. Parra the first baseman. So I'm sure the Rockies are checking with their video room now. Parra, a former outfielder who's got a great arm.
He looks safe from that angle, but you couldn't really tell when the glove touched the shoulder of Crawford. This is our Exmo. I think he's safe. Well, they're going to look at it. Maybe they've seen another angle from their cameras, but from the two that we've seen, and we haven't seen this one, I think he's safe.
This replay review is presented by Xfinity. Again, there has to be completely compelling evidence that the call was wrong for them to overturn the call. He was called safe by Mark Wegner, who was wearing the headphones along with the crew chief Jerry Meals, who's the first base umpire.
Crawford going back. I mean, as far away as he can get on that bag from where that tag's coming from. He's safe. He did not get him. And that's the angle they just replayed here at the ballpark, and everybody in agreement. And you can't tell when he makes contact with the body there.
Crawford's hip obscures the view from that angle. So in New York, they're studying all those angles. They also have the views from the Rockies telecast additionally. So here's the call from New York. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. Well, Parra took quite a gamble there. Crawford started toward the plate, and then he held up to go back to third, and Parra went after him. And he had plenty of time to get Pagan at second, for instance.
Well, Parra is a Gold Glove outfielder playing the infield. He has got a great arm. He, like Arenado, I mean, he believes in that thing. He doesn't believe there's a play he can't make. He saw an opening and had the throw been a little closer to the bag, they'd have gotten him.
And so I'm assuming that's scored as a fielder's choice. They didn't get anybody out, and here is Connor Gillespie, bases loaded, nobody out. The middle infield double play depth. Left field. Dahl. Crawford tags up, and he will score easily. 3-2 Giants.
Nice at bat. Gillespie not waiting around. He's looking for something early in the count that he can get underneath deep enough in the outfield to score Crawford, and he gets the job done. Another professional at bat from Gillespie. And for the first time tonight, the Giants take the lead. Two-seamer really moving away at a high velocity. And the key was at the belt. He could get underneath it and backspin it out deep enough to have an easy score for Crawford.
Now Cueto, who's had a sacrifice bunt, and with 2 down in the 4th inning, he struck out looking to end the inning. Angel Pagan at second base. Joe Panik at first base. They're looking for the bunt on the corners of the infield. A spin move. Nothing going on.
Well, we've got good speed with Pagan and pretty good speed with Panik. I mean, that's your base paths. But you've got a rifle with Arenado at third base, so it's got to be a good bunt.
Taken for a strike. Chris Russin, a left-hander, warming up in the Colorado bullpen, and he has been joined out there now by Jordan Lyles, number 24, the right-hander. 3-2 Giants here in the 6th inning. Nobody goes after it. Now Arenado in a hurry down the right field line. Pagan scores. Panic's being waved, and he'll score. Cueto is to second, and he'll go back. A disastrous moment for the Rockies, and this crowd is delirious. The Giants now have a 5-2 lead.
The pressure's always going to be on the third baseman when there's runners at first and second. Cueto gets the ball, and he gets it past Gray coming in. Arenado breaks back to the bag. Now he tries to make up for it. Throws way up the line. Descalzo has no chance. And with everybody running. Now watch Cueto. I mean, he can run. He's sniffing out. Now they've got an opportunity here, and he puts the pressure on Arenado. And that caused the errant throw. And look at the Giants dugout. And everybody's safe.
Giants right fielder, cleanup hitter, and head cheerleader, Hunter Pence,
who plays like his hair's on fire, as Dwayne Kuiper says.
So a hit for Cueto, and 2 runs score on the error charged to Arenado. And now Walt Weiss, having explained to the plate umpire what he has in mind, is going out to remove Jonathan Gray. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. 5-2 Giants. Span coming up.
fun at the Stanley Cup last year. The San Jose Sharks, the conference champs, are going to be soon back on the ice. They return October 15th to CSN, California. The home of the authentic Sharks fan is CSN, California.
Double switch for the Colorado Rockies. Left-hander Chris Russin, R-U-S-I-N, in the pitch, and Steven Cardullo in to play first base. So Parra is out. Cardullo will slot into the 9th spot in the order and be due to lead off in the 7th inning. And Russin in the 7th spot where Parra had been. Johnny Cueto, wearing his warm-up jacket, is over at second base. 1 out. Denard Span, the hitter. High and tight.
And by the way, if you've got any worries about the grade 1 groin strain on Cueto, worry no more. I mean, he was running as fast as we've seen him move all year long. And I'm talking about from home to first. There's Cardullo, who comes into first base on the double switch.
It's too low.
Russin's had a good year for these Rockies. 29th appearance this year. Low 90s fastball. He can sink and cut. He's got a curveball, slider, and a changeup.
Gray threw 88 pitches in his 5 1/3 innings pitched. 5 runs, 8 hits allowed. Responsible for Cueto, who's at second. And there's a strike, knee high on the outside. 2-1. In this inning, crazy things happening. Crawford hit a smash headed for center field that hit the right ankle or foot of Jonathan Gray. And then Gray picked it up and threw the ball wildly to first, and Crawford ended up at second on the play. That's a foul. 2-2. Then Pagan laid down a bunt and beat it out. And then Paddock hit the slow bouncer to first. And Gerardo Parra, seeing Crawford coming down the line from third, thought he could pick him off going back to third, and proved to be wrong. Crawford beat the throw to third. Gillespie knocked in a run with a sacrifice fly. Then Cueto laid down the bunt, and there was confusion on the Rockies infield. And at first nobody picked it up. Finally Arenado grabbed it and threw wildly to first, and 2 runs scored. Cueto ended up at second. This is Cardullo. Now Cueto belatedly breaks for third. Cardullo runs it to the bag and gets Span. Cueto did not run immediately, but still gets there easily.
Now think back in the inning when John Gray got hit on the ankle by Crawford to lead off the inning. And he continued on, but you think back on that bunt play from Cueto, that may have affected his ability to get over to the third base line and cover that bunt.
Because Arenado was sure that Gray was going to pick it up, so he broke back to the bag.
That's a judgment call. Once he saw that he wasn't going to get there, he tried to make up for it. Had to come back. And that caused the errant throw. We don't see many errant throws from Arenado.
That is Jordan Lyles, the right-hander. Buster Posey, a right-handed hitter, is on deck. Brandon Belt, hitless in the game, is lined into a double play. That was in the first inning, a line drive to first. He is struck out and fouled out to third. A hit here could mean a run. 3 infielders stacked up on the right side. Check swing, and the ball is low. Hunter Pence in the hole with Posey on deck. Dwayne Kuiper will be moving back from the radio side here into the TV booth for the 7th inning. There's Buster in the on deck area. And it's 1-2 to Belt.
A little cut on that fastball at 91.
One ball, 2 strikes to Brandon Belt. Giants have got 2 runs in the 4th inning to tie the game. Have scored 3 times here in the 6th, and they lead 5-2. Cueto, the runner at third, 2 down. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Brandon Belt.
So some confusion. Tom Murphy going to come out and talk with Russin about the 2-strike pitch. You never know. I mean, maybe it's the umpire that gives Murphy a bit of a warning to pass on to Russin, saying make him stop. Umpires will do that occasionally.
Russin in the dirt. With the third baseman Arenado playing, what, 40 feet away from third base. Look how far Arenado is away. Cueto came down the line and like he was trying to distract Russin before that last pitch.
Well, it's tough to do from a lefty. He kind of got a back like it, but you can yell at him.
3-2. I mean, theoretically, you could get almost as far away from third base with your lead as that third baseman is from the bag.
Absolutely, you can. I mean, Arenado's about 40 feet away.
Three and two the count. Posey on deck. 2 down in the inning. And a pop up, and Arenado is coming after it. The Giants get to 3, and the huge play, the bunt by Johnny Cueto.
Yeah, that was a good one, and once it got past Gray, all of the confusion started. A rare error from Arenado, and everybody comes in. Big play.
5-2 Giants heading to the 7th.
Game summary is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Through 6 full innings of play, Rockies 2 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors. Giants 5 runs on 8 hits, no errors. Johnny Cueto gave up 2 in the first inning. He has been brilliant since. 10 strikeouts on the night, 98 pitches. And Connor Gillespie a 2 for 2 night. And the real story of this game has been the defensive breakdown by the Rockies in the 6th inning to give the Giants a 3-run lead. And that's where we are going into the top of the 7th inning. 5-2 Giants. And once again, here's my friend Dwayne Kuiper.
All right, and Johnny Cueto back out there. Johnny Cueto, I mean, look, Bruce Bochy had Jared Parker in the on-deck circle, and when Gillespie came up with the sacrifice fly, Cueto went back out, and it turned out that what he did and his bunt made a huge difference in this game so far.
Well, I mean, really, he's got good speed. I mean, he doesn't show it very often, protects his legs. But here, he had to put pressure on Arenado, which indeed he did. Caused the errant throw, and it opened up the inning. I mean, it's just the little things in situations like that that become big things.
Cardullo came in on the double switch. He falls behind 0-2.
Once the bunt got past John Gray, Arenado tried to do something he really shouldn't. Make that throw.
Well, the problem with Arenado, he's so good, and he thinks he can make every throw.
And he normally does.
Absolutely. Blackman and then Descalzo. Posey set up away, and it's high and away, 1-2. Cueto now over 100 pitches. What does that mean? Anything?
Well, I think their big concern today was the leg. I mean, he's had a lot of stress throws.
Got him.
The changeup, strikeout number 11. But his stuff now, I think, is as good as it's been all night long.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not so much in the first inning, but after that.
I mean, the first inning was kind of weird. He struck out the side, but he gave up 3 extra base hits, and the Rockies put their 2 runs on the board then. But since then, he has really stiffened up. And he's been in the stretch every inning. Stephen Okert back up again. It won't take him long. He's already had a hump.
All of a sudden, it's everyday Okert. Blackman down the left field line, and that is going to drift into the seats.
You could definitely make a name for yourself in September and October. If you're a young pitcher and you're throwing well, it's a good time to get hot.
Just a bit outside. Blackman doubled in the first. Since then, he's bounced out and struck out. As Mike said, 11 strikeouts for Cueto.
10 of those strikeouts from Cueto have been swing and miss strike threes.
Matt Moore, 11 strikeouts Tuesday. Samardzija last night, 11 strikeouts. Tonight, Cueto, 11 strikeouts. It's 2-2.
Last time the Giants did that, we showed it was Ed Halicki, Pete Falcone, and John Montefusco. So it doesn't happen very often. You see 3 guys put up double digits with strikeout totals.
3-2. Eric Law joins Okert. Popped him up. Gillespie. 2 outs.
Showed the graphic early, but it really bears repeating. In 1975, Ed Halicki, Pete Falcone, and John Montefusco had 3 games in a row where they had double-digit strikeouts. And then tonight, Johnny Cueto puts his name on the list with Samardzija and Moore as the other 3 Giant starters to do double digits in a row. And there they are, all but one swing and miss.
Well, which one of those 3 previously did that, had the dreadlocks?
Well, Pete Falcone may have them now.
On the ground to Panic. And Cueto with a very nice 7th inning. Shutdown inning for Johnny Cueto. They're the Dreads. Giants lead 5-2. It's a 5-2 lead for the Giants. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Jordan Lyles, the new pitcher now for the Rockies, a hard thrower. We'll see low to mid-90s with a fastball, curveball, slider, changeup.
On the ground to Christian Adames, and on one pitch, Buster Posey's retired. Buster had walked a couple of times in this game, so here's Pence.
Johnny Cueto, 7 strong innings. The one inning that he's had problems with all year is at first. The Rockies dinged him for a couple in the first, and then that was it. He stiffened up, would go on to strike out 11 Rockies against 1 walk. And those 11 strikeouts ties his season high.
So here's Pence.
Had some concern with Cueto having a grade 1 strain in his groin a week ago Tuesday as to whether or not his legs were going to be fine today. Dave Righetti assured us that it would be. He said he had a bullpen, and he says he threw 80 pitches and he let it out. And the way that he pitched tonight, the way that he fielded his position, the way he ran the bases, no sign of a strain to his groin at all.
Pence taps it foul. 2 balls and 1 strike. He has fun. There's no doubt about that.
It's a money pitcher. It's time through the rotation when it means the most, when every game's a must win. This rotation has really stood tall.
Tap to third. Lyles is going to pick it up and throw, and they just get Hunter Pence.
Nice play by Jordan Lyles.
Yes, it was.
Pence does not allow you a lot of time. And for Lyles, who's a big guy, falling off towards the first base line, he's got to unwind and get down. Watch the follow through. Now he's got to come back. A swing and bunt. Perfect strike over to Cardullo. A tough play made to look easy.
Here's Crawford. Crawford attacks that 93-mile-an-hour fastball. It's no balls and 1 strike. This guy drop it? Is he getting sympathy?
He's feeling the wrath is what he's feeling. Let's take a look at the effort.
I got it. This is not a problem.
Ooh. Whoa.
He lost his beer. Oh, that's a bad one.
Yeah, he needed his glove.
And Crawford digs it out, and he's got a base hit.
2-hit night for Crawford, who's hot. Yep, that's a shame.
You know what? They had a good attitude.
Dude. Yeah, they got a few empties up there. He brought his glove, and he got the ball.
Here's Pagan. Pagan with a couple of hits. And he takes a strike. Pagan laid down a beautiful bunt in the 6th. Not only did it get Crawford to third, but Pagan beat it out. Line drive foul down the left field line.
Hey, she brought her glove, made a play, had a bit. Nicely done. Seen some good plays tonight. And I'm talking about in the stands.
Crawford will move down to second. 390 feet. Well, now the Giants have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. We're in the 7th. Little pop-up left field, and it's going to be tracked down by Blackmon, and that'll end the inning. Nice play. The beat coming up. It's 5-2 Giants.
AT&T Park, and when newest Giant Gordon Beckham came over here from the Atlanta Braves, guys, I reached out to former Giant Tim Hudson, who's back in Atlanta and working with the Braves broadcast, for a scouting report. He said that he got to know him during spring training early this year. He can definitely contribute. He gives you a right-handed bat off the bench, solid defender. But then he went on to say that he's in a strange situation because should the Giants go to the playoffs, he cannot be on that roster. But what he brings this team is energy, and you saw it tonight. He's coming from the Braves, who were out of it, joining a team who is in it, and the guys can feed off of his energy. He is excited to be here.
Well, we can tell he's excited. Amer the Gamer.
Here's Law to Arenado, and the first pitch is down low. 1 ball and no strikes. When it's time for a change, think Speedy. Oil change and auto service. Your oil change tune-up and repair expert. Big breaking ball for a strike.
See the numbers for Derek Law. 60th time he's come in. 2.17 ERA. It's a big outing for Derek Law. Mid-90s fastball. We haven't seen the mid-90s since he came off of that little stretch on the DL. Been more low 90s. Curveball, slider, and a changeup. Hunter Strickland to Javier Lopez heating up.
Out of play. I said to you, if it were possible to put 2 more rubbers down there with home plates, Bruce Bochy might have 4 relievers going at the same time.
You might see him go righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty here for a while. And he can do it.
Lined into center field. Span is going to run it down. Nice play. Ball hung up there just long enough. And here comes Bruce Bochy. So Lopez is coming in. Giants are leading 5-2, and we'll be back. Grab Giant seats, get the StubHub app. That's right, there is a StubHub app. You'll find seats you'll love whenever you want. You can find the best seat for your buck when you sort by best value. So get the StubHub app. Floyd R. Turbo in the house. It's 5-2 Giants.
Never gets old. Javier Lopez.
To Carlos Gonzalez.
Lopez, another solid season. I mean, he started out slow in April, and after that, he's had a solid season.
In tight. No overshift, but the Giants do play Gonzalez to pull. And that's why 2 balls and a strike. We're in the 8th inning.
David Dahl, the right-handed hitter, or left-handed hitter on deck.
Wrap foul off of Gonzalez's foot.
You know, just finished that discussion about Gordon Beckham. He's going to play tomorrow. He's going to play the next day, too.
I believe he is, yeah.
Dodgers coming to town. Last 3 games of the regular season. Giants are going to see Clayton Kershaw, Rich Hill, 2 lefties. Gordon Beckham's going to be in the lineup.
Well, that's the last thing Lopez wanted to do.
A rare hit batsman for Javier Lopez. He got on the left elbow. Carlos Gonzalez. Bicep. One thing, I don't care where it hit, it didn't feel good. I mean, you're throwing your arm into the oncoming ball, and that's a direct hit. The ball went the other way once it hit him.
So the hitter will be David Dahl.
You don't miss those, do you?
No. Not at all. Especially in this weather. It's going to hurt no matter what, but in this weather, it's like piling on. Tap foul, David Dahl.
Dahl up there, Hackett first pitch. Hunter Strickland waiting.
Look out down the left field line. 0-2. Just a bit off the plate.
Well, nice 0-2 pitch. That's where you want to go with it. Javier Lopez can go lower than that. I mean, that's sidearm, and he can get under it. Widen that break, frisbee it out. And that really was from a high hand position.
So, skipper's coming out. He's going to go to Strickland.
Perfect pitch. Slider, see ya.
Lopez departs. Strickland's coming in. 5-2 Giants. We'll be back.
Tomorrow night, Dodgers coming to San Francisco, and you can see it right here on CSN Bay Area. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock game, pregame live at 6:30, plus complete pre and post game coverage. And Giants insider Alex Pavlovich, the home of the authentic Giants fan, is CSN.
Bumgarner, Rich Hill tomorrow night. I know where we'll be. So Murphy's hitting with Strickland on the mound.
The numbers for Strickland, 72nd game that he's come into, 3.12 ERA. High velocity fastball. You see the right-handers hitting a $1.99 against him.
And a strike at 97, and it's no balls in one strike.
Pitches, 2 fastballs, 2 knee-high locators outside corner, 97-98. I gotta believe he'll see another one. You're throwing your fastball through a guy, no need to go anywhere else.
Sombrero. Giants are coming up. Panic will hit first.
Central tonight after Giants post game live right here on CSN Bay Area with Mindy Bach and Dave Feldman. We're talking about Alex Pavlovich post game notes. Monty Poole, Warriors practice. We'll give you an update to there. And 49ers Joe Staley will sing. All that more.
Here's Panic. One to Panic. Panic rolls this one under the glove. Descalzo puts it away. So a nice play by Descalzo. And here's a guy I might pick as my player of the game on the wrap.
Sergio Romo?
No, this guy walking up.
Yeah, he's had a good night with the bat. Connor Gillespie has. 2 knocks and a sac fly. All good professional at bats.
Jared Parker's on deck. This is rolled foul.
You know, you go back and take a look at his at-bats, and I think 2 base hits, you know, they're both back up the middle, good balance at bats. But the sacrifice fly, I mean, he got after the first pitch, and I think a lot of guys feel that that's the best pitch in a fly ball situation to get at. Because if a guy gets 0-1 on you, he's going to start burning your hands with sink and sliders that have downward bite. That first pitch may be the highest pitch you're going to see in the strike zone. And he was ready for it, delivered on it. But Gillespie's also one of those veterans that if he's got a philosophy like that, he's not going to talk about it openly. Simply because, I mean, you never know who you're going to be playing with next year or against.
1 ball and 1 strike. And a breaking ball for a strike. That was an ugly finder, that one that went down there by Ryan Spilbores.
Yeah, did it almost hit him?
Yeah.
Spilly.
Ryan is the one without the beard. Ugly finder.
One of the broadcasters for the Rockies. And one of our favorites.
In the dirt, 2-2. He might not even dispute that whole ugly finder thing.
No, I don't think he would.
I know this. He would know. He would be smiling if he knew what we were saying. 2-2. Rockies go home to finish out their season against the Brewers. And Gillespie stays alive.
You know that little philosophy that perhaps Connor Gillespie has about hitting in sac fly situations, trying to hit the first pitch. I mean, those are little philosophies that you don't share, but those are little philosophies you pass on as a coach. And there's no doubt in my mind that when he's done playing, he'll be a coach if he wants to.
Yeah. Look forward to a straight answer, that's for sure.
Yeah, he's not going to sugarcoat anything.
3-2.
Close. Miles thought he had it. But I mean, isn't that what you want from a coach or a manager?
Yeah. I want him to smile once in a while too, though. He might do that.
Once a half.
3-2 pitch coming up. And the walk.
Get it back.
So here's Parker.
Check the key to lefty. Jason Mott, the right-hander.
So Parker at the plate, Span on deck. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Giants trail 2-0 after 1/2 inning, tied it up in the 4th, and then took the lead in the 6th. Parker's going to swing for it. He was doing it in batting practice, and that doesn't change when it comes into the game.
Yeah, he puts the 9-iron away when he gets to the batter's box. He breaks out the driver.
Swing. Ain't gonna miss. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Nice 1-0 changeup. Set that up nicely when he burned his hands. Pitch before.
See Romo getting loose. Up and in to Parker. 2 balls and a strike. Another sellout tonight, 486th consecutive sellout. 41,275. The pitch. Swinging a foul off the backstop, 2-2. And we got good news. Dave Fleming's going to be back.
Be back tomorrow?
You're a little worried we were going to lose him for a couple of more games, but he'll be back. Two and two. Overshift is on. Fouled on past Roberto Kelly, and we'll do it again.
Taira Uematsu picking it up. The ball due tonight. That is Ryan Levitt on the third base side. Patrick Hodges on the right field side. They haven't had a lot of action tonight.
See the note about Patrick? Great grandson of Giants announcer Russ Hodges.
How about that? So a couple of free gifts at 90 feet from Lyles. The Giants get runner in scoring position.
And will Walt Weiss come out?
Here he comes.
So we're going to see Jake McGee. He'll be in to face Denard Span. Giants are leading 5-2. Two lead, and a couple of free passes here in the eighth. Gillespie drew a walk. Parker was hit, and now Jake McGee comes in to go after Denard Span.
Game number 57 for McGee. 2-3 with a 4.73 ERA. McGee, low 90s fastball with a lot of cutters and a curveball. It is Santa Clara night tonight. And if you're a Santa Clara Bronco, that part of the stadium is the sweet spot.
It's a good looking lid.
Bunch of Broncos.
And a good looking group. Span is 0 for 3 with a walk. Gillespie at second, Parker at first. And it's low. 1 ball and no strikes. Team with 9 hits. And a base hit into center field, and Gillespie is going to be held up. So the bases will be loaded.
I think the Rockies are a bit surprised that Gillespie didn't try and score. Roberto Kelly very conservative, putting the stop sign on.
Here's Belt. Belt will hit with the bases loaded. He's lined out, struck out, and he's popped out twice to Arenado. So a hit here saves Belt's night. And the pitch, and Belt takes outside. He thought he had a strike. One and 0. And that evens the count.
Gets him to chase.
That doesn't happen very often.
It does not. He does not go after many balls below the strike zone. He's pretty disciplined to the strike zone. One of the leaders in the league in getting base on balls. Easy take there.
Two-one pitch coming up to Belt.
Again, he gets him to chase below the zone. I mean, pure strikeout situation for McKee. And McGee's going for it. I'd be surprised if he elevates at all in this at bat. With Belt going after two below the zone.
That was a great play by Murphy. It's 3-2.
He has no idea how he got that. That's pure instinct to let your hands think for themselves. And this is a great play.
He backhand that thing.
Yeah, he kind of almost looked like he caught it the backside of his glove.
Three and two to Belt. And he walked him. So the Giants add on. It'll be an RBI for Belt. And with Buster Posey coming up, Walt Weiss is going to come out.
101st walk of the year for Belt.
So we're going to have a new pitcher as that little girl has a new baseball. McGee departs. It's 6-2 Giants. lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Jason Mott is going to face Buster Posey.
Take a look at the numbers for Jason Mott. 30th game he's been in this year. 24 strikeouts against 7 walks in 23 innings. Doesn't quite have the high 90s fastball we saw him when he first came up with the Cardinals, but he can go low to mid 90s of the fastball. Curveball, slider, changeup. He will cut the ball.
Only 2 at-bat history between Mott and Buster Posey, and Buster's 0 for 2. And a strike, and it's 0-1. Strikeout, a ground ball, and a couple of walks for Buster Posey.
4 grand slams in his career.
Hit out to left for Dahl. Dahl's going to make the catch. Parker's going to score. So for Buster Posey, it'll be a sacrifice fly.
And he just missed it.
Maybe a little bit towards the end of the bat.
Yep. Just got out.
Bruce Bochy has preached add on. And the Giants have not done a good job of it, but they have done a good job tonight. Here's Pence. And Pence takes outside for a ball. Pence had one of the big hits in the game. Giants were trailing 2-0 in the 4th, and after Posey had walked, he doubled past Gonzalez in right field. And eventually both Posey and Pence scored to tie the game. After last night, you kind of were looking at, is this going to be another 2-0 final? Is Detroit falling out of the scoreboard?
Well, it looked like it was. A little concerned about Detroit right now. They got 5.5 inches of rain today.
Wow. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 1 strike.
They had a rain delay of over 4 hours before they finally called it.
Well, it's the last time the Indians were going to play the Tigers, so they may have to play Monday. Played in one of those. Bad.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Down low.
I mean, it's fun if you win.
Well, we were the team that had nothing to lose. We were playing Kansas City. They had to win. Guess who won that one? Swing and a miss. 3-2. Wasn't the Tribe, I can assure you of that.
What year was that?
That was the strike year. It was 81 when like 12 teams went to postseason.
Yeah.
Runners go, and Pence on a check swing, and we'll do it again.
Dodgers wound up winning it that year. It was an odd year to have a 51-day break in the middle of the season.
It ended up being a split season. Runners go, and Pence takes the walk.
I mean, that's 4 free gifts from the Rockies this inning. 3 walks and a hit batsman.
Crawford has 2 hits. And he lifts this one into left center field, and it'll be Blackman in front of Dahl, and that'll end the inning. So the Giants do indeed add on. They score a couple. It's 7-2 with Romo coming in. In the 9th inning, time for a change. Thing Speedy, oil change and auto service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Sergio Romo coming in to try and close this one out. 38th time he's come in. Romo has inherited the role of closer. This is not a save opportunity with the 4-run or 5-run lead.
Tapia is going to pinch hit. Tapia caused all kinds of problems when the Giants were in Denver. He was one of those guys you didn't know much about, and he was just getting on base all the time. There's the new third baseman for the Giants,
Gordon Beckham.
Down the left field line and out of play. So his first activity in a Giants uniform other than cheerleading, Gordon Beckham.
Well, you get your feet wet. Gonna play tomorrow.
Tapia out swinging. 1 out here in the 9th.
So nice changeup from Romo. Sends the rookie packing.
Here's Adames. And Adames, switch hitter, lines it to right. And Hunter Pence is going to make the sliding catch, and then it popped out of his glove. And then he throws behind Adames. So Adames is going to come up with a base hit, and Hunter Pence with a great effort.
Let's take a look at the A for effort from Hunter Pence coming in, going into a slide. I mean, for a second, it was in the sweet spot, and then as he went into his slide, it just pops out. Oh, I say he held it long enough.
Oh, and he almost got it that time. And here's Patterson. Jordan Patterson, a pinch hitter. Patterson is 2 for 7. So he ain't gonna miss. Nothing in 2. Patterson, in all likelihood, in his adventures in the minor leagues, has not seen someone like Romo before.
Well, he's funky. And Romo tells you, I'm different. Guys see me for the first time, I have the advantage. At least he feels that. And he usually backs it up when he's facing a guy for the first time.
And he gets that is a one hopper to Buster Posey. So, I'd like to thank our official score for letting us know that that was indeed a wild pitch.
Well,
all right. Wasn't quite sure.
Formality.
1 and 2. Hit out into right field. Hunter Pence has got another crack at this one. Two outs. And here's Charlie Blackmon. Charlie Blackmon, 1 for 4. And a strike. Blackmon doubled to open up the game, eventually scored on a Nolan Arenado double. A bit wide.
Not much.
Madison Bumgarner tomorrow night. 1 and 2.
Perfect location back door on that no doubt slider.
And this sellout crowd now standing. Romo gets the sign. And the pitch. And swinging a foul back. He threw the pitch wide to Charlie Blackmon.
And a little changeup with two-seam movement. So Blackmon in the protect mode going out of the strike zone to fight it off. I mean, he did a good job of getting a piece of that one. That went way wide.
One ball, 2 strikes. Up and in, 2 and 2.
Almost caught his elbow. Got some margin. Billy Hayes talking it over.
Had to wrap it around. It's 3 and 2. Descalzo is on deck. Pitch number 15 for Romo. And this is lifted out to left center field, and Span says, I got it. And he does. And that's the ball game.